Pat McAfee. Good to see you, Pat.
Hey, great to be seen. You running the board back there, just a blue-collar guy doing blue-collar things right here in Indiana. It's an honor to be here with you.
Well, I'll tell you, I know that these 3 red lights. By the way, Del Tufo, I have the board in front of me here.
I was just going to say, are you the audio executive today, Rich?
I'm. Hold on, Brockman. Start talking.
1, 2, 3. Hey,
oh, you can.
How about?
Oh, and he's back. The gatekeeper.
Now you understand why
I slid it. I slid that red button.
Now you understand why I'm the audio executive. I have a lot of power in these hands.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what did Del Tufo?
Yes,
you
Pat.
were asking me to call you something on the air of audio, like the
Bill Walsh of audio.
Yeah, and I think we're learning today that without you, Rich is a pretty good gatekeeper of audio himself.
Yeah,
I mean, this
I'm
is
the Giovanni Carmazzi.
Well, he's the Bill Belichick. He's all right. I mean, I'm the Walsh. He's the
funny.
Belichick.
You came on, Pat, when you came on and you were in studio and he was saying that he was the Bill Walsh of audio executives because of his audio tree. The people in the business who have learned under him. He has mentored. And he talked about him being the Bill Walsh of audio. A couple of days later, we had the actor Keegan-Michael Key on the program.
Of course.
And we had Mike play 3 different sound bites from the old Predator for the actor who was in the current movie Predator.
Okay.
And told him that the Bill Walsh of audio was going to play these 3 sound bites. The Bill Walsh of audio didn't have the sound up when he played them.
Oh, yikes. You can't do that, Bill Walsh of audio.
Hey,
you can't do that.
You drop a couple passes now and again, and you call a couple wrong plays on the sideline a couple times. That's what I did that day. I'm allowed.
He said he bounced back, he said.
He bounced. He's got the bounce back ability. How are you, Pat?
I'm excellent.
You've had a hell of a February.
We've been on the move here.
No, I know that. By the great royal we right there. Is it true you signed with WWE this month?
Signed with WWE, official content contributor to the World Wrestling Entertainment franchise.
Okay. And what
does that mean?
None of us know. So I don't know, and the WWE don't know.
Okay, but you're just going to work it out.
I'm just making videos, and then I send them it, and then they decide whether or not they're going to put them up. For instance, the first one that they put up was me sawing down a live audience from Monday Night Raw. I was like, oh, this audience was basically the worst. It was this whole? I made a 3-minute video, eloquently put about how the audience was so like dull, and we sent it to them. And literally the conversation amongst me and my boys was like, we're going to learn quickly, like, if the WWE is going to want to do this. They put the video up. They're like, here we go. Their crowd lost there. They're like, oh, so now you're burying your own fans? It's like, well, I am, not the WWE. So it's just, I'm making content, and they're figuring out whether they want to put it up or not. But they've been so nice.
Hey, look, if they hire you, they should know what they're getting. And then,
True.
And then 3 days later, did you get engaged?
I did, man. Forever's a long time, Mr. Rich Eisen. Forever's a long time.
It was so impressive.
Thank you.
The lengths you went to make this happen.
For those who don't know, what lengths did you go to? Samantha is her name?
Samantha is my lady's name, and she's the best, right? She holds it all down. I'm a very busy person, as are you. I got a lot going on.
You do?
I talk too much. I get sick of me. She's able to handle it.
Okay.
She's the best. She's been the best thing that's really happened in my life. And it got to the point, July, I should have done it. July, but it was her birthday month. So my mom was like, do not do it on her birthday, because if you mess this up, her birthday's ruined for the rest of her life.
What?
Right? So my mom's
Mom had zero confidence.
Wow.
in you.
My mom's been around me for 31 years too. My mom knows.
Okay.
My mom knows too.
All right.
Like, if I mess this up, let's not ruin her birthday forever.
But then there's months between July and February.
So then football season happened, right? A lot of things happen. Football season. Your life, I don't know how you do it.
Stops.
But it really is.
Yeah.
So then Christmas comes around. Okay, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is a quick little break. I'm gonna do it on Christmas. I go and get. 2 days before I prepped for it, I go and get a ring. Okay, I go and get a ring.
Important step.
Yeah. Take a picture of the ring after I buy it. They had to resize it or whatever,
Right.
I was going to go pick it up the next day. So then the next day I looked at the picture of it and I was like, that's not a nice enough ring. I don't think that's a nice enough ring.
Okay.
Not that she would say no, but in my head, I knew that this was going to get flexed because I've been getting pressure from my family, her family,
What's going on?
my friends, her friends.
Oh, yeah.
So if I show up with this rinky-dink thing, which it basically was, I mean, it was not a great one, I knew that I was going to get murdered by a lot of people. So I backed out. I was like, all right. That ring, by the way, is still sitting at the store right now for sale, like Not for. I bought it.
Okay.
I'm selling it potentially back to the store,
right?
Or to you if you'd like to get engaged. Anybody, it's up for sale.
Brockman,
I'm good at the moment.
By the way, you need to say that it was not good enough for your lady, but it's good enough for somebody else's. Is not the best way to sell a.
Not a good selling point there.
You got to punch up that copy. You got to punch that copy up a little bit.
Hey, Bill Walsh of can you dump what the? Is that the way it works?
No, he's not paying attention.
No, yes, I am. I heard everything.
Okay, very good. No, because I'm sure you're taking.
Oh, I saw you. Hey. Yes. I saw you flexing on the internet with your access to certain things with certain people, old Bill Walsh. It all makes sense now because the people running the audio and all these things that you're at probably came under your tree. That's why you're in there wheeling and dealing.
The Del Tufo ladies of Instagram are very fan. Otherwise, we're not going to have the Mike Del Tufo Fire Fest work. He's working his way up. Okay, so then now you finally got your ring.
So like a month and a half before this happens, I tell the boys, everybody at the office, I'm like, hey, after the Super Bowl, we'll do shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after Super Bowl, and then I want everybody to take like 10 days off after that. And they're like, all right, sounds good. And that was when it all started cooking. My lady was like, where are we going? I was like, I don't know. You can figure that out. So she started booking this entire trip. She's like, have you ever been to Hawaii? I was like, no. She's like, let's go to Hawaii. I'm like, perfect. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get engaged in Hawaii.
This is it.
Moana. This is going to be a real thing. I'm going to be a hero here. Disney movie. Right. This is really happening.
Yes.
So then she gets an email from the people in Hawaii, from the hotel in Hawaii. It's like, here's a list of events that you guys can do. Okay. Helicopter to the waterfalls was an option. So in my head, I'm like, we're in Hawaii. There's an option to go to a helicopter to a waterfall. That feels like so I'm like, let's do the helicopter to waterfall. I've always loved waterfalls.
Oh, you shined it off like that.
She's setting it up though. Okay. So she's like, okay. So she's setting up her own engagement. She's emailing the person from the hotel back.
Great.
So now we get two helicopter options. You never go with the cheaper helicopter.
No.
So that ring in the helicopter, the cheaper ones both got left side. One with the expensive one, very expensive.
It was huge.
Huge helicopter.
Huge helicopter.
Really? Change helicopter experiences for me. I've never been in a helicopter that big.
It's like a Tony Stark helicopter.
I'll pull up the photo for you, Rich.
Bro, it was an Escalade. It was a big
like
boy.
A Maybach.
I've only been on tiny little helicopters. Like, for instance, I flew one to Stagecoach one year from L.A., so I didn't have to hit all the traffic, and it was a tiny little thing.
Oh, no.
And I felt like we were going to fall from the sky every 2 minutes.
Can't have it.
I was scared that was going to ruin the engagement. Turns out we paid a lot of money for that helicopter, and there's good reason. That thing was sturdy in the sky.
Right.
So we hop on this helicopter. We fly to like this coffee bean thing, and I don't care about any of that. Then we hop back in the air. We fly around, and this guy flies us to a part of the Big Island that is a rainforest. Like, nobody lives there. It's an actual rainforest. And he flies us into, like, these 35 waterfalls, and it's like Avatar. We flew into Avatar. And then I'm like, so in my head, I hadn't told the helicopter people what's going to happen.
Right.
I hadn't told.
Oh, my God, I'm looking at that helicopter.
It's unbelievable.
By the way, did you set up dinner?
Wait till you hear this romance. It's like Avenue I'm about to take you down. A little romance
all right,
trip.
Fabio, you keep going.
So I'm known to be a very romantic guy, by the way.
Okay.
Obviously.
Clever.
It's not the case. I think that is something that my lady has grumpied on me in the past for not being the most romantic human. So I hadn't told the helicopter people either. So it wasn't until we were in the sky flying above Avatar in the unobtainium that I didn't really realize that, oh, no, like this guy has no idea what I'm planning to do here. So there's no way to talk to the pilot, though, unless you talk into the thing. So I had to ask questions to the pilot to find out if we were going to get near a waterfall because we were just flying over all these waterfalls. Am I going to have to do this in the helicopter? Like, you know what I mean?
Tell the stuntman to quit, you know.
He was a medic pilot in Iraq and Afghanistan, this guy. He was barrel rolling us over these. It was unbelievable. And when I say this, it was the most unbelievable helicopter ride I've ever had in my life. Right. So I go over the ear thing. I'm like, hello? And it busts out every two words. It's like, are we close to a fall? And he's like, excuse me. I'm like, are we getting close to a damn waterfall or not? He's like, no, we're just going to fly around him. Then he does a direct about face with the helicopter and starts flying directly at the biggest waterfall basically I've ever seen in my entire life, like 1,000-footer. And he lands it about 15 feet in front of the waterfall on this little piece of land that's about the size of this studio right here. Lands it down there, and he's like, all right, we got to hike through these rocks to get to the waterfall. Is this close enough for you? I'm like, yeah, it is. And my lady walks in front of me. I have the ring in my back pocket of my jorts the entire time, right? Right in my back pocket of my jorts. So I've been sitting on it in the helicopter while we're barrel rolling, while we're at this stupid coffee bead thing. Like, I just have this sitting in my back pocket.
Right.
So as we get out and we start hiking, I like lean over to the guy's ear. I'm like, I'm about to propose right now. So if you get a photo, that'd be great. He was like, what were you going to do if I wasn't here? I was like, so you were going to be here. I wasn't going to fly the helicopter myself. And he was like, well, what if I wasn't going to take photos? I was like, this is too much conversation. Is there any way? He said, okay. By this point, though, this guy and I have a pretty good relationship, right? He's a military guy. I mean, we have a good relationship. He's almost messing with me at this point, right? She's in front of me, so we have to hike down these rocks a little bit. And I didn't think about it. Waterfall, very cold. We were very cold. The waterfall, you're just getting rain. It's falling, on you.
That's the fall part.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee.
But you're sleeveless, too.
Yeah.
Sleeveless hoodie and jorts, just because I had to be on brand to keep it real. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Real G's move in
100%.
silence like lasagna.
Lasagna, exactly.
Yes. So I get out there and I set her up with like, oh, we're going to do one photo and we're next to each other. And it's like, we're at a waterfall thing. And then I'm like, okay, this is going to be a time I'm doing it. You're standing on lava rocks, right? That's literally what it is.
Those can be rugged. They can be jagged.
So I'm going to get the ring out of my back pocket.
Oh, no.
And I'm holding I have a death grip on this ring, right? Because if it goes down,
it's done.
Forever.
Finished.
So she grabs my head like while I'm trying to like get down because she wanted a kissing photo in front of the waterfall.
Yeah.
So while I'm trying to pull the thing out of my back pocket, she's like kissing me, right? And I'm in the picture. My guy is just taking a bunch of photos. There's a photo of me like holding the ring out while she's kissing me. Yeah. And then I get down on a knee, do the whole thing like, I want to spend forever with you, blah, blah, blah. She hits me, thinks I'm joking, right? She thinks I'm joking at this point. Yeah, and then she does starts bawling. The whole thing happens. The ring ends up being too big anyway. She wears a size. It's like right now she won't take it off to go get it resized, but that thing's just bouncing around like a rubber band on her hand. It's unbelievable.
But well done, Pat.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So then
inspirational.
What a caper.
Thank you. So then we hike out of there, back up to where the Cadillac helicopter was parked, and there was just like a little tiny strip of grass in front of that. He was like, I'm going to set up a picnic for you guys. Is that okay? I was like, of course it is. So I turned to Sam.
She didn't hear that question, though, right?
So I turned to Sam. I'm like, we're going to have a picnic here. So Sam and I asked the guy, we're like, are we can we have some vitamins right over here by the waterfall or whatever? And he's like, yeah, do whatever you need to do. We're like, perfect, thank you. Let's go do that. Have a little picnic.
Because you guys are health nuts. Yeah,
that's fitness.
Yeah.
We're all about fitness.
All about it.
Well, what a story that is. Now, there's so much news to get to. I want to get to it all.
Yeah, I got tons of news here.
Before we do, the host of the Pat McAfee Show 2.0 recently had on his show Joe Tessitore.
Oh, yeah.
How was the chemistry?
Great. I honestly, he actually has he bought a For the Brand shirt and a For the Brand Christmas sweater because his child kicks at Boston College. He's very Italian. I'm from Pittsburgh, which is basically all Italians.
Right.
I mean, it was a good give and take. I felt very good at it.
So, I mean, ESPN executives might be, if they're looking for if you don't mind me saying, if they're looking for an Indianapolis Colt, Peyton Manning might be their first stop.
I would do the same.
Okay. But word is Peyton doesn't want to do this until Eli's out of the league. He doesn't want to be sitting on Monday Night Football in the booth. Hey, there's a 30-3 game going on here. Eli threw 2 interceptions yesterday.
Yep.
Dwayne Haskins is sitting there waiting for a role.
Yep.
He's in the role of being analyst. It's an awkward spot. So he's waiting until Eli's done. Then he might, if there's an opportunity, do that.
None of my brothers are quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay, so check that box.
Yep.
Because that's what the Combine's about right now is checking boxes.
Yep.
We're checking that box. Chemistry, we've already checked that box. Tess and Mac.
Good name.
Or Tess and Pat. What would you prefer?
If I'm in a Monday Night Football,
know.
Call me whatever the hell you want.
Okay. All right. So Tess and Mac, we got the chemistry.
Yep.
You don't have any brothers that you're concerned about being in an awkward position to have to criticize.
No, I'll bury Adam Vinatieri if I have to.
Okay. Very good.
I mean, I won't, but you get it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go, right?
I honestly
we
don't
have
know
some
what...
game tape review. You were in Lambeau Field for Fox this year. We've got game tape. We've got stuff that we could send there. Resume reel, right?
We got a lot of things. We honestly got a lot of things.
What do we have? I mean, pitch it, Pat.
What we have is a man who knows a lot about the game. First class experience with the Indianapolis Colts, front row seat to Peyton Manning operating, and also Adam Vinatieri. Drafted by a Hall of Famer, Bill Polian. Mm-hmm. Got to learn the ropes, went from an undefeated team to almost a completely defeated team.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen football at its best, and I've seen it very much at its worst. I've punted 10 times and a half before. I've seen what terrible football looks like.
You blew up Trindon Holiday, didn't you? You know how to hit.
I'm not scared to tackle. I'm not scared to be.
Certainly if they're Kyler Murray's size.
Exactly. Smaller, turns out. Got him on a ruler.
Okay.
I'm not scared to have a perfect passer rating on Thanksgiving in the biggest turkey bowl of all time. I'm not scared to do that.
Okay.
And also, I think the biggest thing on my resume is, and Rich, this might sound like a shot at you. It shouldn't be.
Okay, thanks.
The voices of the NFL for far too long have made the fourth down a pee break down.
As you know, come on, you know who
not
you're
you,
to.
not you.
Do not lump me. I'm not a lump. Do not lump.
Not you. That was a broad brush I just painted with there. But most people that are in Rich Eisen's exact position have turned the fourth downs of the world into a peeing situation. I've turned it into must-see internet videos. I've turned fourth downs into a must-see situation. The most boring down in a lot of people's eyes. For years and years and years since the game was created, I have turned into I wouldn't say this, but some have said, the most electric down in football. Okay? Matt Hasselbeck said, most entertaining play in football, whenever I'm talking about it. Imagine what I could do in the other three downs.
Hashtag for the brand.
Hashtag punters are people too.
Now you have just mentioned a guy that you have to compete with. I think Hasselbeck should get a look. I think in-house.
I should be a third guy. So I think I should be a third guy.
You're a third man?
I think so. Mostly because I couldn't tell you a single thing about cover two.
See, this is what we got to, before we get to the news, got to talk about the Achilles heels here.
Okay.
So you can't talk about the cover two?
By the way, love learning things.
Okay.
Very coachable.
You're a sponge.
I am a sponge. Bill Polian drafted me. I didn't know how to punt. Said, we think you'll figure it out. He was right. He's Hall of Famer.
Now, my last question for you on the Achilles heel.
Yeah.
You know Polian's on staff there.
Yeah.
They ask him for an assessment.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Is that a problem?
He told me to punt the ball 40 yards at the end whenever we were just getting crushed, when we were just almost completely defeated. He asked if I could punt the ball 40 yards with a 5-0 hang time, which both of those things are great and all that, but he actually built incentives into my contract to average like 45 or something like that for like an extra $1 million. So I'm like, yeah, I could do that for you, but we should go back to the negotiation table. And then he ended up leaving, and then it came back. So our last conversation might not have been the greatest, but I think he would. I think he'd go to bat for me.
Okay.
I think Bill Polian would.
Second thoughts here. Okay.
No, not from me.
Okay. All right.
Boy, Bill Polian, he also, I don't know. Let's hope Bill Polian doesn't carry a lot of weight up there.
Pat McAfee on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.